Hello PhpStorm friends. In PhpStorm there is this concept of live templates, which are basically just code snippets that you can use, but much more powerful. So let's take a closer look today. Given templates can be found in your settings under live templates. So here they are. Or you can also go to them through the find action search, and then also here search for live templates. And here you can go to them as well. As you can see already, we have a lot of predefined templates that we can use, and they are all sorted by the language. Because when you think of it, most snippets only make sense in one language. So let's see what we have here with PHP. So there are a few of them, like an echo statement, for each loop, include statement, and some for function. So I think it's a good idea to just try one out ourselves. So back here in my code, let's just type, I think it was echo, and now I have typed tab, and this will replace the code with the template. And now I can type in here what I want to echo out. So again, we're going to type the kind of key that we have, and then tab to expand to the template. Okay, let's take a closer look at this template here. So that's this one. So the template here, we have an abbreviation which is called echo. So that's the key that we type. Here's a little description, and here we have defined that we expanded with tab. You can also check for other keys to do that, but I think tab is nice. And here's also a little checkbox to reformat a code according to your current styles that you have defined, which is also pretty neat. And here we have our template. So that's the echo statement that we know, and this is a variable that we can define. And it doesn't matter what's the name of the variable, we can just change it. Important is that we have two $signs in front and at the end of our variable, because this will tell PhpStorm that this is our variable. Okay, let's try something else. Let's get rid of that again, and now let's try the for each loop. So for e is the keyword, and then I expand it, and now I can type here like my items, then I press enter and get to the second variable. I can change this if I like, and then again I type enter and I get inside this loop here. And when we take again a look now at this template, let's make it a little bit bigger, you can see that we now have more variables. The first one here is for our array, and then the second one is for the current item in our array, and then we also have this end variable. And what this does is it just puts the cursor here. So again, when we go back to this code here, and let's try this out again. So the first step is our first variable, where we define them. Then I press enter and go to the next one. You can change this as well, and then the cursor gets to the end variable. And this is pretty neat because mostly you want to start right away inside the loop and not here after it, not before it. Here inside is where we want to be. All right, let's take a look at a last given one, and let's go to our user class here. And here we have a few templates now for creating functions, which I use all the time. So like a public function, or maybe a protected function. And like this, you can just get the code, and then you need the name, like get status, or what you need. I press enter, then I'm inside. So maybe I have a variable here that I need. And if I press enter again, as you can see, I get inside. And again, if we take a look now at one of these templates here, like the public function, we have here the first variable, the second one, and then here we go to the end, and this is the place of our cursor. So what about we now try to create our own live template? So first I go to PHP, because this is kind of the group Now in this group, I want to create a new template. And it's a live template. And I want the key to be test. And we want to create a PHP unit test. Create PHP unit test. All right, so let's first think about how we want our test to look like. And go to one of our tests. So let's go to the example unit test here. And now I'm going to change this to how I would want my template to be. So this is how I always start with a new template. I type the whole code inside the file and then I copy it and change it into a template. So first I just like to have a smaller doc block. Like this one-liner. Okay, then I like to name a test starting with it. And let's just say it checks if status given. And then I also like to have the void return type because we're not returning anything here. And we don't need a content. So this is basically a base template for how I write tests, PHP unit tests. So we're going to copy this. Let's go back to the live templates. And here is our test. Maybe let's call it PHP unit test. And now let's paste this in here. Okay, now let's think about how we want to change this and make it more dynamically. So the first thing here is I want to keep this here and I want to change this part here because this will be the name of my test. And I'm going to write maybe just the name. Let's keep it all capital. And then I mostly don't need anything passed to it. So the next step would be inside here, and here I want this template to end. Like this one, let's check again. We're going to use the default tab. Reformat is fine with me. Okay, let's apply it and give it a try. PHP unit test. Tap and nothing happens. Okay, let me just get rid of this again. Now try it again. All right. Let me check again. What have I done wrong here? Oh yeah, that's a good example because I haven't defined the context for our template. So that's a good error I ran into. So we need to define where we want to be used. So this is a PHP unit test, so we're going to only need it inside PHP. And let's make it a little bit simpler by just using test. Okay, let's try it again. Now inside here, we are inside a PHP file, and now this should work. Yeah. So it checks the status or whatever test it might be. Okay, so this is how you can create your own templates, and it's pretty powerful that you can use these variables and also this and verb because yeah, this is where your cursor will be at the end of your template, and so you can start writing your tests. And of course, you can go really wild with these live templates. It doesn't have to be just a method. You can create whole classes, like an enum class, maybe a middleware, doesn't matter what it is. It should be just something that you need regularly, and then it makes sense to create a template. And with the variables, you're very flexible. And yeah, you can create a lot of code in a very short amount of time. Okay, now let's go to a blade file where we have some HTML. Yeah, like this one here. So now let's talk about different kind of templates. And these are the ones that you need when you have already some text or an expression and you want to surround it with a live template. So what you could do now is select the text, and then there's a shortcut for surround with. And there we have some templates that you can use. As you can see, they are not all the live templates because these are special templates created for a given expression, a given text that you want to surround with. So for example, you can surround it like with an H1, but we can also do some custom stuff here. And this is what I want to show you. So let's go to our live templates again. Here we are, and now I want to create a new template for HTML. So let's create a new one here, and let's call it link, and let's give a description like surround text with link. Okay, so what we want now is we want a link, and this will be our URL. And then we have our selection. So this is important because that's not a variable that we can type in something, because this is the selection that will be provided to this template because of our selection in the markup. And then we want to close it. So I think like that. Okay, we want to expand it with tab. Reformat is fine as well. And now we want to define it for the HTML environment. Let me check again, link with the text. All right, let's try this out. So if I select my text now and go with the surround with shortcut again, you can see that now here our link template is defined here as well. And now I just need to put in some link, and here we go. And now we have a link. And this is how you can create templates to also surround text that you already have. And as you can see, they're a little bit different because you need the selection, because only if you have the selection keyword inside your template, PhpStorm will know that this is a template that will be shown inside the surround with pop-up. Okay, that's it for surround with templates. And now there's one more thing I want to show you. Let's go back to our route file. And now I want to talk about postfix templates. So this is also a special case of live templates. So postfix templates are useful if you already have an expression like uses, and now you want to also surround it with a template. So this can be done with live templates, but it's a little bit easier to use with postfix templates. And to use a postfix template, a given one, you type in a dot and then the name of a key, like if. And if I now expand it, this users variable will be now changed into the template. And there are a few given one that you can use. There's also like is set, and there's also like not null check. And again, they will use a kind of template, and again, it will all be done for you, and then you're inside this condition again, and then you can write it. Let's give this also a look inside the settings. So there's a different page for this called code fix completion. And if we now go to PHP, you can see here we were using the if example or the is set example. And you just define what's the key, and then you can see what is being returned. So they are very similar to live templates, but it makes sense to use them because you often write an expression and then you don't want to just select it, or maybe of course you could select it and then add something around it, but sometimes it's easier to just call this dot syntax and then change it to a template like this. So what about we build our own little postfix template as well now, to give you an example of how this looks like. So again, I'm using PHP, and here I'm now going to create a new one, and the key is dd. And what we want to do is now we want to dump and die. So the DT is common in Laravel. You just dump and die something out. And we want to make this a postfix template. So expression, here we go. All right, I think this looks good. Let's try it out. We have our expression.dd, and then we change it to dd expression. So it's a very simple one, but if you're like me, if you use dump and die a lot, that's pretty cool. So let's say we have a user, we type .dd, and then it will change to this dump and die method. So this is one that I use a lot, and I want to show you how you can easily create a postfix template as well here. Alright, so we've seen now a few different templates types that we can use in PhpStorm. So there are the default live templates that we can use. Then there are the templates to surround an expression with. And then we also have these postfix templates where we have this dot syntax at the end of an expression to use it. Alright, so there's one last thing that I want to show you. And for this example, let's say we want to create a comment. So like this, and this is about blah, 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 blah. And then we also want to add the date. Like, so that we always know when this comment was written. Okay, so let's try to create a template for this. I'm going back here to PHP group. I'm creating a new live template. I'm calling it comment. Create a comment with date. And now inside here, we're going to start our comment. Then we have our comment text. And then inside here, I want to add a date. So what I didn't show you so far is that we can here edit the variables. And here what we can do is we can add an expression. And this is, for example, a date. So what we get back here is now a date. Let's define the PHP namespace again, PHP environment, apply it and try it out. Let's type comment. And when I now extend it, I can type in here this text, and I also get automatically the date. What we could also do is change the format inside the expression, date in the settings, but I'm fine for this as well. So this is how you can use some expressions, some methods as well to get some dynamic data. And this makes these templates even more powerful. And in addition to that, what we also could do is we could also get rid of this here and make a comment for every language. So let me show this to you. Let's make a variable called comment start. And when I now edit the variable, I'm making here expression, and I'm going to check here comment start. And this will give me the expression what you need to write in the current language to get a comment. And with this, we also need a comment end, because in some languages you need this as well. So what we do now is here for this is also an expression called comment end. Okay, let's apply it. Yeah, we also need to change now the context from just PHP to everywhere. Apply it. Okay, let's try it out again. Comment. As you can see, we also have the correct start for this comment, so this works here. But let's also check inside HTML. Here you can see it does already the correct syntax. This is about blah, 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 blah. And I'm also fine with the rest. And so you can easily create a comment section, which is really custom to your needs, maybe with a date, maybe with a name. There's also a method for the current user. And this is super powerful. All right, so now that you know how to create all these cool templates, let's also talk about how you can share them. So what you can do, for example, is inside your live templates, you can just copy it and paste it back in, and you get here another live template. But what this also does is, if we check it inside a file now, maybe let's hit the button. If I paste this in here as well, you can see that we get an XML syntax here. And this syntax here is what it takes for PHP to know about this template. So this is how you can share specific ones. And what else you can do is you can export your settings. And here, when you export your settings, the live templates are included as well. So you can export the whole settings, and there you will see also the live templates. And this is how you can also share them with your team or other users. All right, I hope I could show you all the templates that you can use in PhpStorm. And as you can see, there are lots of possibilities again. And it's really good to know all of these different techniques that you can use because they are super useful while coding. Thank you very much and see you the next time.